I don't know what that means. I'm still working on technology. Give me a second.
Well, you're better than me. Far better than me.
Okay. All right, let's go live. It looks like this broad. Try creating a new board. Just remove this destination from the broadcast, then re-add it. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. We are on live. Nice to see you all. It's Trish Carr from Women's Prosperity Network. Another episode of Be Real, Get Real. And today I'm so excited to have with us a fabulous woman who has so many gifts and talents. You know, Women's Prosperity Network, we are so lucky that the most extraordinary women are part of this community. And today I'm thrilled to have with us Dr. Ida Green. And Dr. Ida she really teaches you how to tap into your inner wisdom and your intuition to hear messages from your soul, from the divine, to help you create a stronger connection to source and to yourself, resulting in inner peace, tapping into your own personal power, growing stronger in your self love, in your happiness, having joy, feeling better, doing better. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? I can't wait to hear from Dr. Green. Is such a talented woman. She is a life, marriage, and family child therapist. She's a college professor, an NLP practitioner. She's the author of, get this, 22 books. And we'll learn more about her as she comes on to the show. So, Dr. Ida, welcome.
I,
Welcome. So great to see you this morning. How are you?
I'm blessed, blessed, blessed.
Bless. Dr. Ida, tell everybody, where do you live?
I'm in San Diego, California, but I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, really? What part of California are you in?
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Wow, that's far from Pensacola, Florida. How long have you been in San Diego?
About now, almost really about 37, 38, almost 40
Oh,
years.
long time,
Looking for
long time. Wow, that's a long time. Well, that's wonderful. San Diego is such a beautiful place to live. So both of them were kind of sunshine, although Pensacola is a little cooler
it.
than San Diego. Wonderful. Well, happy to have you with us, Dr. Ida. And you know, I'm always intrigued by people who have intuitive gifts. Tell me, how did you first identify yours? When did they first happen for you? How did that come about?
I really, my mom is kind of psychic, but we didn't know that. We didn't call it that then. My sister would see and hear things. And I was kind of very left brain. I really didn't understand. I, I didn't, I had the gift. I wasn't aware that I had it. But when I really became aware of it is when I got it with my husband. And suddenly, with my first husband, uh, had schizophrenia, and he died. And then I married and had my second husband, and I wanted to. I was I was wanted to get married, but then I was really afraid of being married and what that was like. And God was showing me I was really nervous and anxious, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to get married to him. And there was a part of me, I'd never been this nervous and anxious in my life. I was just very anxious. And I didn't know why I was anxious. So I ended up marrying him. And there was just all kinds of stuff going on because he, I was educated and he was uneducated, but I didn't see that as a factor. But that became a factor in our marriage. And he didn't want me to be successful. At the time, I was an RN. I had my bachelor's degree in psychology, my master's in counseling, and I was studying to become a licensed marriage and family therapist. And he was very upset about that. And so the first time I went to take the test, he started hit me, and then I just got really confused about that whole process, and so and I went the second time and to take the test, and he started fighting me again. And I went a third time. So the last time I got myself hypnotized. Got someone to drive me up to the test, and I did pass the test. But that's when things got really worse in our relationship because I didn't realize, but he didn't want me to be successful, more successful than him. And he just started this process of arguing and fighting. Then he started slipping out with other women. It just became a nightmare, but I was willing to put up with that. But then I started trying to fight back, and that didn't work. And so I was becoming very angry with him. And I called my mother. She said, when you got your hand in the lion's mouth, you have to ease it out slowly. So that meant I need to not stop telling him about that. So I had to stop telling him about that because I was feeling very angry and resentful and thinking, if he hit me one more time, I'm going to hurt this man. And I thought, the thought of that is going to get me in prison. And then because I'm thinking about it as premeditated murder.
Right, right.
And so I just made a decision to not, leave that alone. And it took me some time to get back my power. And because I really loved him and I wanted to be accepted and want to have a family. So I stayed there because that was my goal. I didn't want to have a failed marriage because my mom and dad had been together for so many years. And I decided, I can't do this anymore and I need to make a change. And I said to myself one day, I love me and I don't hit me. If he loved me, he wouldn't hit me. Maybe he doesn't love me. And just hearing that, I thought, I wish someone that doesn't love me. This is not good. And I got to figure out what to do. So I had to really figure out how to do that. It was a process.
Well, and it's a cycle, the whole, battered woman syndrome, if you will.
He was stalking me. He was stalking me at work and me and broke the door in my house. It was just a nightmare. So I had to file for a divorce, but that was a long process of me getting back to. One thing that really, the lawyer told me, she said, if you call and cancel this divorce one more time, I'm leaving. I'm canceling you as a client. I thought, this is the only person I have. I don't have the family sending. I thought, I better just leave this man because I just don't need this lawyer to cancel me. So that's what really gave me courage because I didn't have the courage to take the action to do what I need to do. So it was rough.
Did you, I mean, first of all, my jaw hit the floor when you said, he hit me when I went to take the test. And I was like, oh my God, so how long were you together before you decided you were going to leave?
We were together about going on 6 years.
Well, and you didn't have kids or did you?
We did not have kids.
And you're happy about that now, I'll bet.
We adopted a boy, and so we had a foster child. And that's what really made me stay with him because I wanted the boy to have a father.
Right.
And after I left, the boy said, I wanted you to leave him, but you seemed happy. And I wanted to be happy, so I didn't say anything about it.
Oh, wow. Wow. So where is he now, the young boy?
That boy got shot by gang members. And
oh, my God.
Died at age 15.
Dr. Ida, where were you living when all that happened?
Here in San Diego, where I'm in right now, the house I'm living in now.
Wow, what a trauma. What a trauma. I mean, first of all, your first husband to die, and I'm sure that going through him being schizophrenic has a story of its own, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a nightmare, a lot of nightmares there. I didn't know he was schizophrenic.
So how did you finally figure it out?
When I moved from San Diego to Northern California, San Jose, for him to get a job, and then when I got up there, I was working at night and he was working at daytime, and I would come home and he would look at these papers that somebody had killed somebody. He kept looking at the paper, and then he started thinking that I was going with other men, and I called his uncle and I said, you got to come and help us because he need to bring us back home because he's not doing well. And he just start hallucinating, and it was terrible. I was working at a psych hospital, but I had to leave the psych unit where I was so that my husband could come on that unit.
Oh my God. And then he passed away.
Yeah. Now that was really trauma because I had no family out here. I didn't know anyone. One of the ladies at the hospital let me come stay with her, and she gave me a little puppy to put by my bedside to keep me company. So that was a big comfort. But I was just afraid to be alone when he died, and I didn't have any family. I didn't know what to do. But it was a nightmare with him because he put knives in the windows because he thought people was coming in to kill us. And he schizophrenic people do strange things. When I was just surviving with him. I mean, I was just trying to stay alive, but I didn't feel he's going to kill me. I know he was afraid someone's going to come and kill us, but his family though he's going to kill you.
Wow, what a story. What a story. I imagine that when he passed, it was grief and relief.
Grief and relief, yeah. It
Yeah.
was really grief and relief.
Wow. So, just listening to your experience and your background and what you went through, I'm thinking that it's a natural thing for you to get into the field that you're in terms of marriage and family therapy, right? Was that part of the motivation from what you experienced?
Yeah, what I did, especially with my husband, I lost my self-esteem. He's well, you're so wise. You're therapy. You can fix your marriage. I could not. You can't fix your marriage. You need outside help.
Right.
So we went to a therapist, and he said, you need to leave your husband. I said, but I don't want to leave my husband. He said, well, then he's going to keep doing what he's doing. And he made me believe that I could fix the marriage, and I couldn't fix the marriage. So after I got divorced, he was stalking me and all that. I had to go to women's shelter and do self-esteem classes because I lost my self-esteem, my self-worth. I lost everything. I forgot who I was. A powerful woman. I gave all my power. I just forgot who I was because I was so shattered and shocked about the hitting and the stalking and all this trauma that went with it. So I went to a lot of shelters, did a lot of self-esteem classes with the shelter to figure out to bring back my self-esteem and my self-identity because I had lost who I was.
It sounds like you were terribly circling the drain of there's nobody in here, right? Oh my goodness.
Go to a friend's house and stay with her because he was stalking me. And then when he left, I came back to it was just a nightmare in terms of that domestic violence cycle.
Oh my gosh. And then at what point did you have the wherewithal to continue your education after all of that and get your PhD, which you are an actual PhD?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
This is me healing me. I just need to learn. I just need to keep busy and start going back to school and keep myself busy because I didn't have a family at that time. Well, the boy had died, and I divorced him, and then shortly after that, the boy died. So I was alone with no family, and to keep myself busy, education was just a thing to keep my mind occupied. So it was like a therapy for me.
Yes, I imagine that it was. And look at how much you learned. I want to ask this question. What would there are so many people who are in relationships, men and women, where they're being physically and mentally abused. What would you say to someone who was in your position to how to manage through and get out of it? What would you say to someone if they came to you with that? Like, what advice could you give?
Well, one of the things that they do is they isolate you from friends and family.
Right.
So none of my family knew that I was having this problem until I talked about it. But what I would really tell them is to find someone they can trust and talk to. And I did call my mother and talk to her, and I talked to my dad. And my dad called him and told him if he hit me again, he was going to come out here and take care of him. And my mother gave me the greatest advice. She said, which means shut up and be quiet. So I shut up and I was quiet. I was not talking about leaving him. I just started being a very kind wife and doing all the things I could to make him feel loved so that he wouldn't hit me again. So it was really a very scary time for me because I was I was not loved. I was not valued. I wasn't appreciated. I just felt very alone and by myself. So I would tell someone to be, don't talk to them about leaving them. Don't get in saying things going to hurt, agitate them or get them upset. Just try to find some way to keep yourself positive and motivated. And that's what I did. I went with my work and got something. I started doing self-esteem classes, really keep me busy and to build up my self-esteem. So if you can find some class or take some class or do anything to build yourself up and build your self-confidence up again, then that's going to be the best thing because you have to take care of you. And I had to take care of me, which means I had to build myself up again, let myself know that I love me, and really feel like was worth something because he told me I was not worth anything. But giving to someone else, if you can find some place where you can give, like I went to the shelter and started doing self-esteem classes. Plus, I started teaching my own self-esteem classes, and that was awesome. I rented a place and started teaching self-esteem classes. And my first class was on self-love and love. And so that's what really helped me is to start teaching my own classes. And I did that for about 10 years until I could got through that stuff. So I started just doing to help me and helping other people to help. I helped myself.
The student becomes the teacher. That's wonderful. That's such good advice. Is we all have someone that we can confide in. For you, it was your mom. For someone else, it might be a best friend or a cousin or a brother. So that's probably the first step is confiding in someone else. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Tell me, when did your intuitive gifts start to show up?
My gifts really started showing up in, I would say, maybe very powerful in 2015. I went took a class with Richard German, and he asked me, said, "What is it that you're good at? It's just like breathing." And I said, "My intuition, my inner guidance. I'm just so good at it." So he called me the sales psychic, and he said, "You should start teaching classes with this." So I started teaching classes on, I think it was how to awaken your intuition or something like your inner guidance, and that kind of got me on the path. And then I started going to the psychic fair, doing psychic readings, and so I just got better and better and better. And now God just channeled messages through me. Even when I'm not thinking, it just come all the time. I'm constantly getting inner guidance on what to say and who to say it. But I have to be very careful because everyone is not open to hearing messages. So
Right.
I only I'm not now want to teach people how to do it and then let them pay me because when you give people things for free, they don't value it. So I'm going to the psychic fair this coming Sunday to do soul reading. And when I'm there, last time I went last month, my booth was just filled up. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be filled up this coming Sunday.
That's wonderful that you're making a difference for so many people. I can imagine that you've always had good intuition, is what I'm hearing,
Yeah, just
even when you were younger.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And then when you realize that somebody tapped into that and you decided to develop that gift, it just started to flow after that. So many of you listening, I know, have really good intuition. And it may be beyond that for you, right? And like Dr. Ida, when you start to develop it, are there any resources you can suggest people use to develop their intuition?
I started going to the psychic fairs, but there are also books you can. I guess they're books, but for me, I'm a more people person. So I'm going to seminars and
Yeah.
looking in that, and I really start meditating and going within. So everyone has this gift. It's like a giant inside that's sleeping. We all have it, but we have to realize that we have it. I think just sitting and meditating helps, but taking some classes help, and just being looking out and saying, "I've got this gift inside of me. How can I develop it?" And there are a lot of people out there, a lot of classes, a lot of training you can take. Certainly, like mine too. I'm just finally realizing that I
And aren't you aren't are
go ahead.
no, sorry, go ahead. What I
Yeah,
was saying is, so you're working with people to develop their intuition, right? You do
yeah,
coaching on that and
yeah,
you do grow your intuition programs, right?
yes. I'm realizing now
So
how
what's the best
it is. I'm realizing how
you
important
realize?
I want to help other people to do it, especially women. I want them to use that inner guidance in their business because I use it in my business, in my Amway business, in my travel business, but I wasn't aware that I was using it. So I want to teach other people how to use it in their business because when you get these intuitive hits, you're able to connect with people on a different level, on a heartfelt level. You hear the message that they think but don't ever say. So you really start to get a better listening skill and you deepen your listening skills. So it's really an ideal caveat in business.
It's wonderful. In business and in life, we could all use our own inner intuition more often. And I really appreciate that what you're doing is you're showing other people, individuals, teams, businesses, business owners, professionals, moms, dads, how they can tap into their own to intuition and make such a big difference. So, oh my gosh, Dr. Ida, thank you so much for spending some time with us on the Be Real, Get Real. You were real today, my sister. That was really real, and I appreciate you sharing so deeply your experience and how it took you to where you are today and the difference that you make for people. Is the best way for people to reach you at askdrida.com?
Yes, and they can also call me on the phone at 619-262-9951 or with Calendly, www.calendly.com/ Dr. Ida Green /30 minutes. That's the easy way is to book that 30-minute free consultation with me. So
And that's on your website, right?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so just go to askdrida.com and you'll see an
There's a
opportunity.
free intuition book there too they can get.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. At askdrida.com, there's a free book about intuition. So make sure you go there. And you can also book a conversation with Dr. Ida and learn more about your own gifts and how Dr. Ida might be able to help you develop those so that you can use them in your life. Thank you so much, Dr. Ida. I really, really appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I feel like I know you so much better now. And that's the whole point of Be Real, Get Real, because every one of us is a real person. You know, we're always about promoting our businesses and telling people what we do, but the fact is that who we are is the first place that we start from human to human. So thank you, Dr. Ida, for being real, getting real, and as a result, achieving real results. Thank
Thank
you all. My pleasure. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. Make it a fantastic day. And remember, be real, get real, achieve real results. Thanks all.